All right, guys, so now that that trade is over, it is now Sunday morning. Later today, we're going to have our new weekly candle. We're going to have the market opening again. So we're just going to do a little overview of what's going on here on gold. So obviously, we got out of the majority of our position here, and we left a little bit of a runner, about less than 10% of the total trade size. But we have since closed that. Would have been a good place to just exit everything, but sometimes if you lock in a decent profit and you can move your stops, you can always just let a little bit run. There's really no downside to that. But obviously we did come a little bit above this resistance here, but we have since moved down, right? And we have started to test this local level here. We're looking at the 4-hour chart. So going forward, what I'm really looking at, let's look at the daily really quickly. Um, yeah, so obviously this daily candle, massive rejection to the downside from the previous. Um, so I really am not expecting us to test this support again, the 2290-ish region. I think if we are going to retest this level and see this level again, I think we are going to break through. Um, so what I'm really looking for is my key level currently for this zone where we are is this zone up here. So the 2360 region. What I would love to see in line with our bias, because obviously we're still in an uptrend. What I would love to see is this level, price coming up above this level and holding it as support, right? Because this level is a little bit more than halfway up from the, top to bottom of our range here. And so if we can hold that as support, we've been stair stepping our way to the upside. If we can hold this level as support, that'll be really good. And I'll be looking for long positions targeting the highs up here, right? So if we can hold this as support, I would end up looking for long positions up to here and then eventually breaking the highs. We'd be looking for a retest of this 4-hour level at some point to go long again. So that's what I'm looking at for gold right now. If we later today, we're not going to have a whole bunch of volume. We had a lot of news last week, so the opening weekly candles probably not going to be too hectic today. So we may have just a little bit of sideways movement if we come up to this level, um, and we respect this as resistance, and we begin to, you know, kind of go sideways, and we can't seem to break this level. That's going to be pretty bearish because, again, this daily candle was pretty telling the way that it closed. Right, I know we're still within this big mess. We're still within this consolidation. Like I always say, you want when we're in periods like this that are messy and confusing, and you honestly can't you can't know for sure what's going to happen regardless. But especially when you're in this kind of price action, it's really the first thing you have to do is identify it, like I say, and at that point you have to prepare for once we leave this, right? Once we either break this or break this up here. So, um, right, we want to be catching these nice moves, but um, we have to just be forward thinking. So this, like I said, even though we're within this big, you know, consolidation, we have had these massive bearish candles that were followed by big bullish candles. I still, right, we failed to test even meet this high, this local high, right, which failed to meet the previous, and so we have two lower highs, and this daily candle did engulf the previous daily candle, and so we just really have to see how the new candle opens, right? But two possible scenarios, right? Obviously, what I'm looking at is just this zone. So if we can break above and hold the support, I'm going to be looking at some long positions, right? And if not, if we you know, retrace a little bit from this downward move, and this level is looking like a strong resistance, we can look for some shorts down to this low, and then at that point, we're going to be in a downward channel type of situation. But anyway, it's just really simple. Like I said, we had some trades back here, some really small minor ones, not really worth noting. I mean, no losses, a couple break evens. But again, what was frustrating was this level. I was really, really looking for this 4-hour to be met, and it just didn't work out. Obviously, if I was really paying attention, could have maybe tried to get in a little bit later, but it's just not worth the risk at that point. Sometimes, like I said, you can't predict everything precisely. You just have to go with what the market gives you. And I was expecting this level to go short, but it just was not met, right? And then again, up here, we had a short position here, but we got out a little bit early, could have capitalized a little bit more. But again, overall, it's fine, right? Eventually, we're going to get a large swing, and we're going to, we're going to try to catch it, right? So anyway, that's what we're looking at for gold. You can look at pound yen here too. This is just obviously very beautiful uptrend, but this is just textbook, very simple structure here, right? The end of the day on Friday, the end of the weekly um, trading session on Friday, we moved down to retest. Let's go back to the 4 hour. We moved down to retest this level very nicely. And again, right, we have such a clear, massive uptrend. I mean, um, very big uptrend. The yen is having a lot of issues, and so if you look at USD yen, it's the same sort of scenario as this. Um, but well, what do we have? We have all of these key zones. Obviously, here we broke down very sharply below, but once we came back up to hold this level as support, it was very strong. I mean, up here, right, we have a new high, and we dump back down into the support and respect it very well. So this is very strong. Like our first, I didn't take any trades here, but our first indication of this uptrend is really how well we respected this zone in here on the 4 hour, right? And again, I know we violated it like twice here, but overall, we look at the amount of instances of respecting this level as support, and that's a key indication of our strong uptrend, right? Because that combined with this price action, right? That's very, very bullish, right? So anyway, come back up, slowly work our way up. We're at this high. Obviously now, when you're right here, um, and you see how we very casually just, you know, candle after candle, not very big, high volume candles, worked our way up to this resistance. You're not looking for a breakout here because, again, here we on the way up we never had any sizable pullbacks, and so what do we get? We get our pullback into the previous high before it was broken here. So we get our pullback into this zone. This is obviously a really key support level here on the 4 hour. Um, and then what do we get? We just get our new breakout. So all we're really looking for in pound yen um, is for this same price action to continue. What we're just really looking for is some sort of pullback now in that will be in favor of the trend. So we come back into this level as support and maybe hold it fairly well. That will be a possible long entry position. If we break back down below, we may get into a situation like we were with in gold, or we are in gold right now, where we're kind of just bouncing around a bit, and we have to just wait for direction. But bottom line is, we're not going to be looking for short positions on pound yen anytime soon. Obviously, we're going to expect pullbacks, but you know, nothing too crazy, right? So anyway, that's just a quick little rundown of the week. We could look at